My name is Martha Whitmore. I was born in New Canaan, Connecticut, in a house where pearls were noticed more than people. I hadn't stepped inside the Whitmore estate in 8 years, not since that Christmas Eve when I sat beside an untouched slice of cake while my brother's startup pitch earned its third toast. No one noticed when I slipped out before dessert. This year, I came back, not for closure, not for answers, but because my silence had been mistaken for consent, and I wanted to correct that. Snow had started falling before I left the station. By the time I reached Whitmore Hill, the street lamps glowed in frosty halos, the mansion loomed ahead, wreathed in gold light, promising warmth it had never given. Inside, the air smelled faintly of eucalyptus and old money. A soft piano played from some carefully curated playlist. Evelyn Whitmore, my mother, stood in the front parlor, silk-clad and hosting like royalty. She didn't hug me. "You made it," she said, as if I were early to a meeting. Richard, my father, glanced up from his bourbon long enough to give a polite nod. Kathy, my sister, clicked in from the dining room in stilettos, eyeing my coat. "Brave of you to travel in this weather." Brian, my older brother, lounged by the fireplace with the ease of someone who'd never been told no. No one asked why I was there. No one offered to take my coat. Then, a tug at my sleeve. "Are you really Aunt Martha?" A girl's voice. She was no more than 8, a loose braid, cautious eyes. "Yes," I said, kneeling. "And you must be Lily." She nodded. "Mom says you work with computers. Do you build things?" "All the time," I replied. Her smile flickered. Then she slipped away before anyone noticed she'd spoken to me. In the dining room, the cathedral-long table was draped in white linen, place cards in flawless cursive. My name wasn't at the table, it was on the corner children's bench, between 2 booster seats. "Must be a mistake," I said aloud. "No mistake," Evelyn replied, lifting her glass. "The main table's full." I counted 2 empty chairs. "You've been gone a while," Kathy said lightly. "It's hard to keep track of preferences." I said nothing, just walked to one of the empty seats and sat down. Let them keep pretending, but I wasn't here under their terms anymore. The Whitmore house hadn't changed, every wreath in place, the porch light flickering indecisively in the snow-heavy air. The front door was unlocked. Of course, a housekeeper I didn't recognize opened it, stepping aside as if she'd been told to expect a delivery, not a daughter. Inside, the heat was sharp, performative, the kind that says, "We are successful, we are fine." The living room looked like a magazine spread, 12-foot tree, garlands like silk snakes, fireplace roaring, my family arranged like a portrait, Kathy mid-story, Evelyn pouring drinks, Richard nodding in his leather chair, Brian scrolling his phone. Evelyn turned first. "Oh," she said, "you're here." "Hello, Mother," I said. I kept my coat on. Kathy approached like she was walking an aisle. "Martha, you look different." "Thank you." Brian's nod was quick and dismissive. On the sideboard, gift boxes were arranged by paper color, red for Kathy, silver for Lily, blue for Brian, no gold. Of course not. I set my own small, unwrapped box beside them. No one asked what it was. "Long drive," Richard muttered without looking at me. I didn't answer. My attention was on Lily, cross-legged by the fire, half-wrapped present in her lap. "I liked the book you sent me," she said quietly, "The Girl Who Builds Things." "She's my favorite too," I told her. She looked down, unsure if it was safe to agree. "Dinner," Evelyn announced, "not let's eat," just a gesture toward the table, like a flight attendant pointing toward the nearest exit. The dining room stretched exactly as I remembered, table long enough to feel like a runway, candles flickering in pre-approved unison, place cards lettered in Evelyn's perfect all caps. I scanned the row. "No card for me." I let the pause hang. "Looks like we're short a setting." Evelyn didn't look up. "We finalized seating yesterday. There's a folding chair at the end." The last seat, unmarked, was beside Lily's booster cushion. "I see." I pulled the chair out and sat in it, letting the metal scrape against the hardwood. A few heads turned. Brian didn't. Kathy's smile was tight. "It's good you're here, Martha." "Really? Is it?" Silence. Dinner rolled on, polished, pre-scheduled, loud enough to drown anything real. Halfway through the main course, Brian lifted his glass. "This year's been rough," he began, wearing his most practiced humility, "but having family behind me, it's meant more than you know." There were claps. Nods. Evelyn dabbed at her mouth like she might cry. Richard lifted his wine. Kathy glowed like a co-founder. He's always had vision, Evelyn said, resting a hand on his sleeve. Remember when he rewired that toy car? I kept my fork still. The roast was dry. Kathy leaned in, voice lowered as if confiding. It's nice you're finally in a place to join us again. I know success hasn't always come easy. I met her eyes. Do you want to rephrase that? I meant it as a compliment. I know. Her smile faltered. Across the table, Lily poked at mashed potatoes, smuggling candied pecans into her napkin. She caught me looking, mouth boring, and rolled her eyes. I almost laughed. Dessert arrived like a centerpiece in a magazine, pecan tart cut into perfect, identical slices. Place cards were gone by then. Mine hadn't been among them. Oh, Evelyn said when I asked. I wasn't sure if you'd come. I didn't want to assume. No harm done, I said. But I'm here now. Her smile was thin. Yes, and we're glad. It didn't sound glad. Back in the living room, the gift exchange resumed. Same rules, red for Kathy, blue for Brian, silver for the kids. No gold. Brian unwrapped a leather briefcase embossed with his initials. Evelyn kissed his cheek. We believe in you, sweetheart. I stayed quiet. My only gift, unwrapped, plain, sat untouched on the sideboard. Lily had wandered back to the floor, twisting ribbon into a star. She didn't demand attention, but she didn't miss a thing. When the photo-taking started, staged laughs, wine glasses angled for the camera, Richard gestured toward the study. I followed him down the hall past framed diplomas and the grandfather clock still 4 minutes slow. He closed the door like we'd stepped into something sacred. I'll keep this brief, he said, adjusting his cufflinks. Brian's in talks with investors, but the timing's tight. A little liquidity could be the difference between sinking and scaling. I waited. Evelyn entered, glass of wine still full. He's carried so much these past 2 years, Martha. You've seen the way he's pushed through. I looked at her. Did he tell you I paid for Dad's surgery 5 years ago? The silence landed like a locked door. Evelyn blinked. What? I wired the payment. 42,000. Direct to the hospital. You thought it was Brian. He let you. Richard's jaw tightened. You never said anything. I wasn't asked. Kathy's voice drifted in from the hall. She'd been listening. So now you're here to cash in on old favors. That's rich. I opened the door wider. Kathy didn't move. You were always like this, she said. Quiet until you could throw something in our faces. I set a white envelope on the desk. Transfer confirmation. My name. My account. My routing number. Evelyn took it like it might burn. Kathy scoffed. Congratulations. You paid a bill. Want a parade? I don't want anything. Then why are you here? I met her stare. To see if anyone remembered me before they needed me again. Brian walked in, phone in hand. What's going on? No one answered. Evelyn was still staring at the paperwork, like it had rewritten the whole holiday. I didn't know Brian stopped. I thought Mom already knew. That's not what you said last time, I said, even. He had nothing. Kathy jumped in. Oh, for God's sake. So what if he didn't tell her? He was under pressure. We all were. You're not defending him, I told her. You're defending the version of him that makes your behavior easier to live with. I've always said you take things too personally, and never personally enough. Richard stepped in. Enough, all of you. It wasn't anger, just a man with no script left. I picked up my purse and walked toward the living room, eyes on my back. I didn't hurry. Lily sat on the stairs, drawing on the back of a holiday card. Are you mad? She asked. I crouched. No, just done. The house was quiet now, not peaceful, but calculating. Evelyn vanished into the kitchen, Richard back to the study, Kathy at the fireplace, glass in hand, Brian gone. No one asked. I went to the sideboard, picked up the small box I'd brought, heavier now, or maybe I just understood its weight. Lily's crayons were worn to stubs. She glanced up. This is for you, I said, kneeling. She opened it carefully, a sketchbook, blueprint pencils, a folded letter with her name. Her eyes widened. What's it for? For whatever you want to build, I said. even if no one claps, especially then. She nodded like she understood something she couldn't yet name. Behind me, Evelyn's voice was tight. "What do you want from us, Martha?" "Nothing," I said. "I just wanted to see if you'd remember me before asking for something." No one spoke. Lily had already started on the first page, a line, then another, then a shape that hadn't existed a moment before. Back at the hotel, I didn't turn on the lights. Snow fell outside in slow veils, blurring the rooftops of New Canaan, pretty, but behind glass. My phone buzzed, 2 missed calls from Evelyn, a voicemail: "Sweetheart, maybe we've been distant, but I'm proud of you. Breakfast in the morning, your father's waiting." A text: "I'd love to introduce you at the club. Your story is inspiring." I replied, "You can show me off if you also tell the truth, that I did this without your help. You don't get to rewrite it now." Another notification: "Kathy, a link to a glossy profile of Brian." No message. I wrote back, "You can be my sister, but not if you're competing with every breath you take." No response from Brian. Nothing. His silence said enough. I opened my notebook. Terms and conditions. Martha Whitmore. The last line I'd written before boarding my flight: "I will never again let silence be mistaken for consent." I added, "And I will never confuse being needed with being loved." Signed it, dated it, closed the drawer. 1 month later, I hosted dinner in a quiet room above a small gallery. No chandeliers, no crystal, just candlelight, mismatched chairs chosen with care, windows overlooking the city without needing to impress it. Elaine arrived first, with a bottle of red and the same smile from the day we were both rejected from Yale and laughed anyway. Lily came next, barrettes mismatched, a manila envelope under her arm, inside, her first bridge. One side labeled me, the other Aunt Martha. "I didn't know how to draw the middle yet," she said. "That's okay," I told her, "bridges take time, and 2 sides." The girls from the STEM program arrived in pairs, talking about code and cardboard prototypes. They sat like they'd always belonged. No one asked who funded it, no one needed to. That night, I wrote one more line: "They once asked for help without asking who I was. Now I help those who see me fully." I poured 2 glasses of wine, handed one to Elaine. No toast, no script, just room to be. Sometimes silence is the wound. It doesn't scream, it just leaves you off the list, out of the photo, without a seat. Martha didn't come back for applause. She built, she endured, and when the time came, she stood in the light she made herself. Not everyone gets an apology, but some of us still choose not to vanish.